Hi, everybody. John is here, and I apologize to him because on my announcement, I said Bennie. It's Binnie,
That's right.
Benny.
It's close.
And he wore the shirt to let me know this is it.
That's so true. Thank you,
So I
Linda.
haven't seen you. How long has it been?
Is it a couple of months? Was it March I saw you?
Was it
Is that right?
March?
I think so.
How's your
Yeah,
life been?
it's been great. Um, yeah, I think since I first met you, so I'm still just working through those bookings when I
Oh,
first met you. Uh, and so I was deciding my fate within the first 24 hours of having first met you. And the good news is I made some good decisions, but they did take me 24 hours back then. And now I'm living a much smoother life where I have a much better balance
fantastic.
of client sessions and everyone's so wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
People are great.
and yeah, I've met so many incredible people. I just feel so blessed.
Has
And
anybody flown out to see you in Scotland?
yes, we had uh, Ivalani. She came out from Hawaii, and she came all the way out for two sessions with me. Because I do, as well as most of my work's online, and I also qualified as in reflexology, Swedish massage, and now Indian head massage, and I blend those with a psychic reading and energy healing. So it's all at once together. And so she came for she had two 1.5 hour sessions with me back to back with a break in between. And I was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" She said, "I'm coming all this way. I want to do both." So we went through those sessions. Yeah, it was phenomenal. It was lovely to meet her, and also she brought me some really cool gifts from Hawaii, some snacks which I've forgotten the names of, which was lovely. But
Is
it
that
was
like chocolate macadamia nuts and stuff like
yeah,
that?
it was like it was gone. It
Oh
was
yeah. Oh yeah. That's for sure.
just phenomenal. And I ran a small event last night in near where I live, and just for a small group of people, it was lovely to just book only allow 6 people to come to the event,
Oh
and
yeah.
I co-hosted it with my friend, and someone drove about 6 hours up the road to come and see us, which in the UK terms is like half the country, right?
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
so that was a real honor for them to visit as well. Um, but yeah, life it continues to be incredible, and it's just a few
Well,
days
you're
away.
putting out the good vibes.
Thank you. It's just a few days away from the first. This will be my first year doing this full time.
Can you
I'm going to start
believe
my
it?
business the
Can
31st
you
of
believe it? You were so bright that first time I had you on the show. I almost wanted to come through the screen and smack that smile off your face.
May. Well, I
Quit
think you
being
did a
so
good job.
damn bright.
Yeah, no, it's been
But
incredible.
that's when a lot of people wrote and said how happy they were.
Oh, that's kind.
So it really is beautiful. So today, besides catching up with you and how you're doing, do you have any openings, by the way?
Openings, booking slots.
Lots?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So,
They are
and
you
how
can
do people get a hold of you again?
yeah, you just visit johnbinnie.com.
It's BINNIE
BINNIE.
dot com.
Yeah, JON. And yeah, you can book me now. I am booked out till September, but you'd be amazed how fast it goes. That time goes, just as my client said just before we met today. She's saying, I booked you in November and it just feels like yesterday. And I'm so
Yeah,
glad everything in divine timing. So don't let that put you off. I also run a lot of other things all the time. So I have live streams twice a week on YouTube, and we're doing like 5 to 10 minute kind of taster sessions for people for free. And I also have started what I call these free 5D ascension classes to help people just get through their challenging lives. And for instance, today we're working on energetic hygiene, the things you consume, doing some deep meditations and working out the day-to-day practices you can do as a human to get
right,
to
right.
raise your vibration. And then there's also other events that I run as well online, and training courses that people are welcome to engage with. So yeah, it's wonderful to be of service. Um, I'm also teaching a few other people, so I'm starting to, with my students. I'm starting to get them to do sessions with people as well, which is lovely to help
Fantastic.
scale. We need to help more and more people.
Right, especially in these times. Now, I'd like to say I'd love you to come to the US, but I wouldn't travel to the US now from anywhere than the man in the moon. They are
Mhm.
taking people, a Norwegian man who went someplace and came back, and he's in a prison now.
Wow.
And because of some mistake on his papers from years ago.
Mhm.
So it's like the United States has turned into a house of sadness and sorrow.
Oh,
So one of the things I wanted to ask you, because I read so many people, they're telling me, Linda, when is this man? He will be stopped. I can guarantee that. But the
yeah.
when is very hard.
Yeah.
So maybe with your assistance and some prayers and stuff, we can talk about how to energetically, because I tell them, try your best. Don't watch TV. Don't listen to the news. Try your best to exit all that awful. I mean, when he's talking, he's lying. It's terrible.
Mhm.
So what do you recommend vibrationally to enhance your own abilities and not worry about him?
Yeah. And thank you because it's needed, right? It's absolutely needed.
Definitely needed here.
And
I can imagine what Scotland's saying because Scottish people are very honest, and you don't have
yes,
to say anything out loud because I don't want people to be mad. But like that boyfriend I had, let me tell you, he's probably got some choice words.
that's right. Yeah, with some swear words in between the words.
Yes,
So yeah, the first thing I want to just acknowledge is that, as you say, it's a really tough time, and
very tough.
to, just to give some context, I just before you came on the recording, Linda, and you were saying, "Wake up!" I was in this deep meditation. It's so funny
I
because
yelled at him, "Wake up and go to sleep." He's
you
like,
know, do you know what? I was going through this. I was asking my guides, and I said, "Could you show me, guides, what is it really like? What's really happening on Earth? What's Earth look
"Yes,
like?
thank you."
What does it look like from above?" And they showed me. So the two of them were aboard one of the Galactic Federation ships orbiting Earth, looking back down at Earth. And they said, "John, Earth," and they said, "Don't panic, right? But Earth looks to us energetically like, imagine a kettle that's boiling.
Yeah,
So the water inside is bubbling. And you know how when a kettle boils, it almost seems to boil forever. And yet it, because you're like, I'm ready for my tea or coffee now, or to cook.
yeah,
I'm just
yeah. They
ready.
say don't watch boiled water. Yeah,
Yeah. And it just keeps going. And the first thing to acknowledge is on the surface, that's exactly how it feels. That's how I feel the energy of the earth right now is on the outside, above the earth, above the ground. There's this bubbling, chaotic, boiling energy, and it's not very pleasant. And it feels like it stings you. Whenever you engage with it, it feels quite jarring. And then they showed me down below. They said, "Where do you think this is coming from, John?" And I said, "Under the ground." And my guide said, "Well, like keep going down and feel under the earth. Yes, there's a lot of activity, and we see this right now more and more as geological and volcanic activity, and this feeling that it's something's bubbling up to the surface." And this energy is a reaction of Earth reacting to our solar activity. And our solar activity comes from this constant energy source. It's an energy flow coming through our universal, galactic, and our own sun, and then into our planet and into our hearts. And why is that happening? Where does that all come from? Guess what? It comes from us because we're the ones saying, "Excuse me, I'm so sick of this. I'm sick of being pushed down and beaten down and told to dim my light and told to conform and told what to do. Can I get some sort of ascension? Can I get like a better world, a better balance?" And this call from our hearts to Source brings this action back. So Source is saying, "Yeah, sure, here it comes. Are you ready?" It's like, hang on, I'm not sure that's what I asked for.
yeah,
So when the energy comes into Earth, it's boiling back up. And just at that moment, as you just woke me up, I heard this choice that we get. So when going back to the kettle, when you see it boiling and bubbling away furiously at the top, and you look and you see little bubbles at the bottom of
yeah,
of the kettle. You get to choose whether you're in a bubble where you come up out of the water and pop out the top and you turn into steam and you get to rise out to this boiling, horrible hell-like mess, or you get to choose whether you want to stay in the water and just be part of that bubbling, boiling mess.
Wow.
And so it's all a choice. And the good news is, just like the boiling kettle, it might feel like it lasts forever because in those moments, there's this eternal feeling of boiling. But the reality is the kettle clicks off. And ours does too. Our what happens with Earth is that we begin to separate our different dimensions. And together they're overlapping at the moment, and we get to choose which one we step into more. And so this too shall pass. You know, everything is temporary, as you would say. What has helped me the most and continues to help me the most is every single day finding, even if you can find a minute or two, and that's literally all it takes, a minute or two to find something that is calming and joyful for you, that brings some degree of reward to you and helps you just soften and open your heart and bring you a little bit of safety. And I'd love to do a short meditation with you for a few minutes
Sure.
if we could do that shortly. Really and I'd love it to be short because um, so many of us think we don't have enough time, right? That we just don't have enough time to look after ourselves, to cultivate our self-love. And at some of the most stressful times, like when I was at Amazon for 8 years, just a year ago, there I was as a senior manager, stressed out about the next VP or director presentation that day. And I felt guilty for sat in my little home music studio meditating for 10 minutes because I felt I should be doing, I need to be emailing someone or, there's the VP and they're going to be annoyed at me. And if they found out I was meditating instead of working on this, and it's like, no, John, this is not how it works. It is, this is the best use of my time because when I come out of this 5 or 10 minutes, I've experienced this oasis of calm. I've experienced a feeling of safety I'll never achieve throughout the rest of my day.
Right.
And if you watch any of my shorts, my daily meditation, that's the message I ask for and receive from my guides. And you'll notice I'm very calm first thing in the morning. I'm like, hi, it's John. I'm so calm because the world hasn't hit me yet for the day.
Right.
And I'm acknowledging that it's not going to fix your whole day, but what it will do is get you started in a place where you feel like, even for just those few moments, that you're safe and that it's safe to open your heart. It's safe to be yourself again. Because this is exactly what that man and many of those that are behind him and the kind of bubbling, boiling, hell-like mess that's happening across the world at this time, they don't want us to open our hearts. They want to keep us in fear because when we're in fear, we're too scared to use our abilities, our superpowers. It's too difficult to control us when we have open hearts. So they are
Yes.
doing everything they can. And it's our
Yes.
opportunity to fight back. And we will never win a war with more war, right? We won't,
Exactly.
we can't put them in fear. They're experts at it. They can be experts of fear, great. But we're the experts at love. And that is way more powerful. Um, just like the frequency of shame is about 20 hertz down here, and the frequency of joy and unconditional love is up at like 540 hertz. So it
Wow.
just takes one of us to be 26 times more powerful than people in fear just by opening up our hearts, just one of us.
Yeah.
So this is a hopefully an empowering reminder that just a few minutes each day in these higher vibration emotions, if you can find it in you.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I need to do that every morning. And I promise myself, and I don't do it. Just like
Well,
I promised myself I won't eat that chocolate cake, and somehow or the other, I wake up and the chocolate's on my face. I don't know what's going on.
it's yeah, I definitely resonate with that. Uh, so yeah, how about we do a short meditation, and I'd like to
Sure,
leave
I'd love
you
it. Thank you.
for 5 minutes, and we'll set
And
the
by the
intention.
way, johnbinnie.com.
JonBinnie.com. Yep.
You guys, he's got a YouTube channel that you can go on and he has these online so you can enjoy them.
That's right. Yeah, I have a free 14-day spirit guide meditation challenge, and it's 10 to 15 minutes each day, and it guides you through. So you just sign up for free, and it sends you the meditation each day, guides you through
Cool.
connecting with Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, asking to speak to your spirit guides, clearing
See
your
all the work
energy.
you're doing. You're
There's a
doing
whole range
great
of
work,
things.
my friend.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, I think we just passed over 550 people working through them in the last year. And it's,
And that helps the universe too.
yeah, it's just wonderful to see people, you know, you can, at the end of it, you get a little playlist and you can access the videos directly whenever you wish. And it's really just to encourage people to do what I did, just go on a journey of discovery of your
Yes.
own practice, learn what feels right for you. Okay.
Okay.
Well, we'll begin. And I'd like to set the intention for the short meditation to help us bring back that feeling of joy and calm and love in our hearts, protected by our strong boundaries and our ever opening hearts into our love. And to do so, please join me as we take a deep breath in through the nose and breathe out what no longer serves your highest good, nice and loud. Breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out any fear, shame, anxiety, or pain, nice and loud. And breathe in through the nose, nice and deep. And breathe out any remaining low vibration energy that no longer serves you, nice and loud. And from the center of your heart now, where your golden divine spark enters your human form, where your very soul enters your human being, please expand out a golden bubble of protective light to surround you, fueled by your heart and your connection into source above, and your heart grounded through your root chakra deep into the earth. Surround yourself with this golden protective bubble of light. And this is your boundary. You get to choose. You get to define what is pushed away and rejected by your boundary and what is accepted. And at this time, I help you by setting the intention that only energies, entities, people, any beings with your highest good, with your love and compassion, can see you, access you, or exist within your protected space or within you. And that all other energies and entities must leave you immediately. You get to choose who you invite into your safe space, inviting in your guides, your higher self, inviting in the source of love, the planet Mother Gaia, any angels, archangels that you choose. And as you observe now this space you've created around you, bring your focus and your breath back to your heart. And please place your left hand on your heart and repeat after me out loud or in your head. Heart, we're safe now. Heart, it's okay to open. And allow your heart, like the rose, the petals of a rose opening up to receive the light of the sun. Open up your heart gently and softly. And as you do so, Allow the source light of the love of this universe shine so bright above our sun, above our clouds, above the chaos of our lives, and above the chaos of our countries and planet at this time. Allow this energy to flow into your heart, healing, clearing, and energizing every aspect of you, every chakra, every cell, every atom, every meridian, and every point and reflex within your nervous system, and release anything that no longer serves you deep into the earth. May you make all the choices you need to today with your hand on your heart and asking what is for your highest good. Let your heart guide you. Whether you're scrolling on your phone, whether you're watching TV, the people you connect with or the places you go, take a breath, place your hand on your heart. Ask your heart, how am I feeling? And what can I do for your highest good at this time? And so it is.
And so it is. Well, I can go to bed now.
Yeah.
I'm totally calm.
I have I have a voice that sends myself to sleep.
I tell you, it's a great voice. Yeah. Um, and is there some way or something you say that helps people put out calmness in the world, to help people just is there some vibrational energy that we humans can give to the world to help kind of downplay some of the craziness?
Yeah. The first practice that's really helpful is feeling it. I do this all the time, right? Is feeling into I was about to show you, put your hand on your heart, and I already did it. It's feeling into the hearts of others.
Okay.
And this includes our enemies, right? So when we experience anything with another human, and we might find ourselves suddenly feeling a bit triggered. We might feel like, God, that's how could they do that? Are they human? Like
Yeah.
how could they do that against someone? Look at the pain and suffering. Surely they're not of my human race. We kind of lurch back. It's to encourage you to stop for a moment and first of all acknowledge it's okay to feel like that. This is we are human and we are also designed to initially be triggered and react. Because if we
Yeah.
weren't reacting, we're not really here. We're just the Zen guys on the top of a mountain, and too disconnected. Like we're not much help to the earth, but we'd have a lovely life. Um, and so to help others, the first thing you can do, and I practice it by placing my hand on my heart, is just feel when you're triggered and say, whoa, I'm really triggered right now. And actually say that. Um,
Yes.
I say it out loud to say, I am really triggered. I feel anger or I feel fear, anxiety, or shame. Maybe I feel shame because of this is someone that shares the color of my skin or that they're a male or they're just another human. I feel shameful for this and catch that feeling. And as you catch it, often what I do is I'll pull it out of my heart and I just hold it in front of me. So I call that holding space. And I look at it like this, like, what is this? And
Yeah.
it can look and feel quite dark. Um, when when we spoke of this war against our hearts, war against our souls, that's absolutely what it is. And so there's all this content being pushed at us constantly to try and get into our hearts, to close our hearts up, to feel in fear and to be pushed back. So what you're doing is catching yourself, say, "Oh no, hang on, I don't agree to that," and so just catch that and pull it out of your heart and hold space. Now it's important not to ignore it. We can't just bypass it and say, "Hey, there's no such thing as darkness," because we're all of darkness and light and everything in between. And it's important to acknowledge that. It doesn't mean that we need to accept what's pushed against us against our will or even something we've consented to, but not fully, or it's kind of implicitly consented to, like the wrong scrolling on our phone or consuming something we maybe regret consuming. And so when I see it, the first thing I say is, okay, yep, I see you. This is dark. In fact, that's really dark. It's darker than I thought it was. And I'll say, okay, it's time to send this love. It's time to send this darkness because darkness hates love, right?
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
and it's the and it's the superpower of the darkness to pretend that it's all powerful and to deceive the light. And it's the light's gift that it's more powerful than the dark. So just sending in a bit of love. And often I'll say, I see you. Thank you for showing yourself. I love you. I release you. And I'll just let it go. And I'll often say, you hear me saying it in my videos all the time, I return you to source or to never return here again. You can also, for the things, especially if it's part of you, it's mixed up in some of your emotions, you might see in that bubble, you might feel some of your own negative self-talk, your own self-doubt, your own lack of self-love sometimes mixed up in there as well.
Right.
And you can also release that into earth and just allow that energy to dissipate down. So going back to your original question about, well, what is this thing that we can all do for each other that resonates out across the world? It is our open hearts.
Okay.
Our open hearts are have a much higher resonance frequency range. This frequency that resonates so boldly across the planet. And it just takes one, each of us with one heart open in often thousands of people to start to have more of a cascading effect across the world. It only takes around 7 or 8% of us to go through an open heart awakening to trigger this mass awakening. Well, the mass awakening is already happening, but to continue to accelerate it.
Right. Right.
So that's a really good help. And then also the boundaries. So that was why I started the the meditation with boundaries. Your heart will never feel safe unless you have boundaries. And we seem to be terrible at boundaries as a human race. Like, where did we go wrong? Surely our ancestors knew this better. And I think they did. I think they did understand that it's really simple. I often just choose three things. Choose three things that you accept into your boundaries and three things you reject from it. And one practice I do is just draw. I'm not very good at drawing. So a little stick figure and then a circle around the outside. So the stick figure is you, and then a circle around the outside, and write three things, three feelings that you reject on the outside. I reject fear. So when we're talking about that, you know, thing that came into your heart, it's this fear energy. You're like, what are you doing in here? I don't accept you in here. You got to get out. So I'll pull it out, go through that process of sending it love, releasing it. And then I'll look back at my boundary and say, how did you get in here? It's like, oh, I was scrolling on my phone and I was basically overriding my own boundary. You know, I stumbled across another news notification that I knew I shouldn't have clicked on, but I did anyway. And here I
And
am
it caused
again
those
getting triggered.
feelings. Yeah.
That's right. And it's okay as long as you just develop a practice to catch yourself, because I don't think this ever really goes away, these moments of being triggered, but they become easier to navigate through. And especially now that you start to understand why they're happening. They're happening to us because we're this change, all this bubbling and boiling hell chaos across the world is because this world needs to change. And we're sick of it. And a lot of it we've just been suppressing and dimming our lights and closing our hearts and just maybe they'll maybe they won't notice I was a witch in a past life. Maybe they won't
Ah,
notice I'm a witch now. You know, maybe and just hoping for the best. Whereas
right.
we deserve more. We deserve to be fully ourselves and to be fully open-hearted and to fully embrace each other for all our
Right.
radical, incredible uniqueness.
Kind of like, and also the acceptance, thy will be done, to know that this too shall pass. And part of this Trump thing is in our part of the universe. As terrible as it seems, it will forever change and for the better.
Yeah, that's right. Um, it is absolutely temporary, and what's fascinating is one thing I do. Um, so as I left my corporate job, as I went through the chaos of leaving that and stepping out into this new career, was I because I knew I was so scared. I was never been so scared in my life. And I have all these videos. I created about 30 private videos of me just crying or walking my dog and crying and saying, I'm just so scared. What's going to happen? I'm the main wage earner and terrible things are going to happen to me and my family when I do this. And it felt so fearful. And I realized what's the best way to combat fear? It's to face it, right? So it's to do the opposite of what you're scared of, or
Yeah,
to do the
acceptance
thing
too,
that you're
because when
scared of.
I got
Right.
cancer, I was very fearful. But then when I opened my heart, when they said, what are you doing? You know, there's no such thing as death. And in that moment, I gave myself an acceptance. That
Yeah.
helped me on different
Wow.
levels.
That is beautiful. That's so inspiring. And
Yeah,
in my uh, journey, I just started journaling every day, doing videos of how scared I was, because I knew that I would make it public one day, and I knew that I wanted to look back at how difficult it was. And we don't need to over obsess because we do it anyway, right? Very naturally about all the bad news all the time. But if you do journal, whether it's on a video, voice recording, voice notes, post-it notes, a diary, whatever you do, one way of coping through these fears is by saying, noting each day, asking your heart, how's my heart feel? Monday, how does my heart feel? My heart was pretty excited about my event yesterday. Tuesday, how does my heart feel? I was excited about this with Linda. Like
right,
these emotions, if you think about all the time and energy you put into the fear, imagine how exponentially amplified that is when you're also asking your heart more about, well, what could you actually do for your highest good? Catch yourself in that moment. These are the things that are tipping the scales, and you're so right. This is temporary, and it feels a lot like that kettle will boil for years.
right.
It won't. And every I know you've said it a few times, and every time I ask my guides, I get the same message. Like it's far more temporary than you'd realize. And it's the feeling that we seem to be we that is being propagated, right? Almost like this is for eternity. You've been married to the most, to the most horrible human in the world. It's like that's not true. Like none of that's true.
No,
Um, and this is how fear works. They're trying to make fear, like amplified and make it seem so incredibly overwhelming. It's like it's just not true.
right.
In fact, leaders in this planet, they don't lead us. Like, and the universe wasn't designed to have an individual running a planet, right? The universe, the model of our universe is that everyone has free will and we all have equality. So you can't just go stomping over other people without ending up with a lot of karmic debt and a lot of change coming your
Definitely.
way and catching up
Definitely.
with you quickly. And I feel that tsunami, that boiling tsunami, is imminent for sure.
It's definitely imminent. And it's hard to tell people, don't worry, this too shall pass. But
Mhm.
honest to God, I mean, I see it passing. He's not going to be able to tear the fiber of the United States of America. There's just too many good people and too much going on. He may try, well, he is trying, but we will win.
Yeah, and I also feel that this shift that we're going through, so
Yeah,
the other side of that next big change as he departs is what do you want out of this world? Because this is so much about what this chaotic energy is trying to give us an opportunity for, is saying,
right.
okay, like all bets are off now. Like we now all of us own the cards. So as soon as that door opens again, and it's because it's not just one door, it is 8 billion doors,
Yes,
right? We all get to choose this time. And a lot it comes with great responsibility when suddenly that responsibility is back in our hands as
yeah,
individuals. Say, okay, John, what do you really want out of this world? Accepting that I have some traits of fear and greed and lack, like other humans, and then I also have lots of joy and happiness and love and creativity, the
right.
full spectrum of me, and what it will amplify out across the world, and what others do is we co-create a new world together. What is it we really want? And I think that's a really lovely way of a bit like if one of my children was running your country, And I'd be saying to them, that's a really tough job.
Yeah.
Uh, I send you so much love because I don't really want that job right now. But what I do hope for you is like I would hope I could guide you towards the things that would help you help others. And this is a reflection for ourselves to consider is if we were to send love to our towns, our streets, our cities, our neighborhoods, our country, what would we do to help? And it's the opposite of that fear, right? Whenever we fear the things that we don't like,
Right.
catch ourselves and say, okay, what what should I really put my energy into? And it can be simple things. I'm picking up a lot more litter in our streets now because I that's the world I want. I
Right.
realize that there's always going to be litter. There's always going to be people that drop litter. It's just always going to happen. And actually, now I'm 48. I'm actually okay with some people doing it, and I'm also okay with most of us picking up because I feel like other cultures got this right. You know, they realize that humans aren't perfect. Some commit crimes, some do bad stuff to each other. But the more you support and love them, the smaller that becomes the minority. Instead
Right.
of confronting them and just putting them all in jail and making them even worse,
Yeah.
that there are better ways. And it does require some acceptance and some tough love and strong boundaries and all
Right.
these things
Right.
together. But we get to choose all this for ourselves, right?
Exactly. Wow, this is wonderful. Can you believe we're already going on 45 minutes?
That's right. Yeah.
Is there anything
Not
else you
forever.
wanted us to know, John?
Um, I was just going to quickly ask one of my guides for a message. And
Sure.
let me just ask. I know my guide, Maya, who is an elemental of Earth and of Andromeda, wanted to share a message. So I'll just ask her to come through. Dear souls, we welcome you to this space. Many of you are watching from the future. You're looking back at this past in these incredible times. Earth and the Great Change is diarized and journaled by the very videos that you create, the thoughts you write down, the interactions with your technologies. These are fearful times, and yet this fear is breeding great opportunity because fear will only last for as long as those who hold it. Fear cannot survive on its own. It is an energy that requires the hearts of many beings to hold it for it to sustain itself. Unlike love, feel the love that flows from your heart to your loved ones, to your pets, to your home, to your towns and cities and countries. This love energy does not need to exist within your heart. It flows freely across this universe as a creative force. These are indeed magical times. These are the times that will be spoken of through Earth's history for many millennia to come, a time of great change. And you get to choose the timeline. Is this the time where you choose the fear, where you dim your lights and hold yourself back? Or do you choose to stand up and fight, to stand up for your heart and stand up for your love, to hold yourself steadfast through this chaos? And every time you experience these triggers within you, you remember that it is your heart that is more powerful than the fear you face. Allow your heart to fill this beautiful planet with the love of all of you as children of Earth and children of this universe. We're with you always.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you to my guide,
That was
Maya.
great. Thank you for coming through. So, and the other thing I kept hearing when you were talking is, and make sure as best as you can to be unconditional. Unconditional love. Forgiveness is very important.
Yeah.
I've had people that I try to read them and they're like, I will go to my grave hating that man or hating, husband, spouse, whatever. And little
Mhm.
do they realize they're deterring their own spiritual journey because then they'll just have to go back and play it over again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. At some time in our culture, we seem to believe that it was a good idea um to delegate our self-love to other things, and it
yeah,
includes other people and them relying on them to make us feel good. And also money, which is like, why would you wouldn't take something like a 10 pound note out of my wallet and go, I love myself because of this. I would never say that. And yet, and I've been there. I was there for decades. Going, John, when you earn like above that next amount, that's it. We're gonna love ourselves, John. We're gonna be a great person then. Other people will love me too. And of course the number just kept going up and the unhappiness
yeah,
got even worse because I was starting to subconsciously realize that this was going nowhere. It didn't matter what my Amazon job title was or how big my house was. In fact, they made things a lot worse.
yeah,
I had more responsibility and a bigger house
right.
to clean.
Like they were just talking on some show I was watching about fame, being famous, and how
Mm.
awful that can be.
Yeah,
Fame doesn't give you really anything.
no, that's right. Yeah,
So,
it's a,
I mean,
it's,
it's not that fame is a sin, but it's just sometimes people can get so overwhelmed, and it really deters you from being able to do what you want to do because you have to answer to that fame. So,
yeah, it was funny because just before we started, my guide said, because I was saying, I must remember to congratulate Linda on your channel growth, your 129,000 subscribers, which is incredible.
right.
Wasn't it 80 when I first met you in November?
I don't remember.
I think it was just over. And so congratulations. And
129, yeah. I'm
and
hitting 130.
that's amazing. And my guide said, John, you'll receive, and she was talking about both of us. She said, you'll receive as many people as you can cope with. And I was like, oh, because it often feels the other way around, right? That it's
Right.
like, oh, how will I get more subscribers? Like, no, 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 no. It's the other way around. Because it is hard. It is how to describe it? I'm avoiding, it's not a burden, but it is a huge space of
Responsibility.
responsibility. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and the other thing is I get overwhelmed in my emails and stuff.
mhm.
And I want to reach out to each person, but I physically cannot do it. And you can't really hire someone to reach out to people.
No.
So, but I was shocked. Listen, when Trump won, I lost over I think it was at 80 something.
Mhm.
I lost like 1,000 subscribers. And I just said, fair enough. I asked my guides, why?
Yeah.
Why did you set me up? And they said, Linda, man has free will.
Yeah.
And his people need to see who he really is. And if you look at what he's doing now, he's really hurting the red states. He's
Mhm.
told everybody no help from FEMA with the tornadoes and the floods. He's cutting Medicaid. He's doing stuff to really hurt the people who needed this the most.
Yeah.
And so I went on and I told everybody what the guide said and apologized, because I was so sure she was going to win. But anyway, I can tell you this. He's not going to last no 2 years.
Mhm.
Barely past the 2 years for a lot of reasons. But all of a sudden, it's weird because I figured I'm being punished. I deserve it. All of a sudden, my numbers, I was getting 8,000 new subscribers. It was like boom, boom. Then I went over the 100,000. I did not expect that. So as you can see, I got my plaque.
Yay.
And then you know what? The rest is chump change. It's like that's cool if I'm not really looking at it.
Yeah.
I never said, honest to goodness, I never said I need to reach 100,000. I never said that. When my son said, Ma, you got 7,000 subscribers, I was happy with that. Wow, 7,000 people in this
Yeah.
world listening to me. But like you said, as it gets bigger, you have to be more responsible.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And um, the other dimension of it is how to describe this, that um, as we touch more people, as we reach more people
Right.
with our work, sometimes the tendency is to think, oh, this is controversial. This is there, the more people I expose my energy to, the more they'll start to see some of my shadows. And I spend so much time talking about my shadows so publicly all the time.
Yeah.
But what about the controversial parts, like my dragon like language? Rah! It's like when I'm talking like this, and suddenly people are like, "What's wrong with him?" Or
Right.
um, these. And what I've loved doing is, and I encourage everyone to do this with every aspect of their life, is bring your whole self to all the things you do,
Always.
because it's a force of change as well. Just like my dragon voice kind of rattles cages around me, it does cause some people to leave my work or leave my channel. Maybe I'll even get one or two cancellations. Most people love it and they feel guided towards
Just
it.
be yourself.
And
Like when he won, and I was so humiliated. But I understood the guys what they meant. In
yeah,
order for us to rid him, his people need to see who he really is. If you think about that, it makes total sense.
yeah,
But I can get vicious, horrible. In fact, one woman wrote about me with a collab with someone, and that I interrupted him, and I'm mean to him, and your nappy hair or something. I mean, and I just stopped and said, wow, you are so angry.
mm,
It's like people have to have someone to pick on. If they need to pick on me, do it. Blocked, blocked, blocked.
yeah,
So I just block them, but there's just some people that expect you to do something for them. This is about if I have some information that helps you, good. If I bring people on the show that can help you, good. There's a lot of people. I'm the one that got Sterling started on YouTube. And look how well he's doing. And his
yeah,
messages are ringing with someone.
yeah.
So it's all about making mankind better, lifting mankind as best as you can.
Definitely. And everyone gets to choose. Like they don't
You
need to
can
work for
choose. If that I'm not your cup of tea,
it.
somebody else may be your cup of tea. And
That's
it's
right.
not all about prophecy either. Everybody
Yeah.
wants that, oh, what's going to happen?
Mm,
What's the next big thing? And unless I get it really strong, I won't say it. Sometimes I get a feeling on something, but that is kind of the rush. Here's the thing, I cannot tell you when. Everybody wants to know when is this madness. I
mm.
did tell everybody this is going to go probably through June, and then all of a sudden you're going to see the corruption eat itself. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. And I feel some of the reasons you touched on one, predictions are more variable because of free will. And
Yes,
this is important. Also, we choose, like you and I chose a timeline of this. Like
right.
we're in this reality because we chose it. And when we ask people like us, when we say people like us, when someone does psychic work, because we're capable of it, but when someone does it a lot and you say to them, "Hey, psychic, please tell me what's coming up," especially for these more globally affecting things, we're actually asking ourselves the question, right? We're saying,
Exactly.
what will I do that influences this world that then causes this
Just
prediction
to
to
give
happen?
some people some peace.
And the timings are often, you're absolutely right about timings, because I often see my guides say it's the frequency of it. So we think of it in linear time as a straight line event, and that just stuff happens every day. It turns up in the news, and that's life. But the reality is that there's a different dimension, much more powerful, which is the vibration of it. So the vibration is there's enough energy behind it. The energy reaches a tipping point, just like a volcano eventually explodes. And in those moments, as you're saying, when it's no point, a point of no return, it's a surefire prediction. You can tell, like there's that energy
Right.
already released, and it's just happening. And you can even get the rough day around it. Within a few days of it, you'll know
Right.
you'll
And
be able
that,
to
and
predict it.
I've always my guides have told me this, and I can't fear the prediction because sometimes you double check. You think, did I get that right?
Yeah.
The reason they allow prophecy is because, like, I prophesized COVID a year before it happened. And because of that big thing that I prophesized, people knew me as the woman who predicted COVID before. Of course, I can tell you, I'm not doing it braggadly. I don't
Yeah.
emphasize that. But if they give me something I can share with people, and it happens, like airplane crashes and all the stuff I see, then they think, okay, so maybe what she's saying for later is happening, you
Mhm.
know. So
Yeah.
if her contacts can be that specific, she's probably going to be able to know that this will happen. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
well, John, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure
John
as always.
Binnie, Binnie, you guys.
Yes, thank you, Linda. It's been such an honor coming on and sharing what feels like an eternity with you, but in
Yes,
comparison, just over an hour.
you
So
be
thank you
sure to
so much for your
contact me
time.
again too.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.